from Democratic strategist and former chief of staff for the House Judiciary Committee, Julian Epstein. Good to see you in person. Thanks for coming in.
Great to meet you finally in person.
So let's talk about what I'm seeing here, which is a few different approaches from some Democratic leaders around the country. You had Muriel Bowser, mayor of this town, turning some heads last week by kind of admitting the crackdown has worked and welcoming the huge drop in crime. You have Governor Newsom out in California, who is attacking Trump constantly, but also has deployed what he's calling crime suppression teams, which is at least a nod to the problem. Then you have this two-headed monster in Illinois, the governor and the mayor of Chicago, saying basically, we don't have a problem here. Fight, fight, fight with Trump.
Yeah.
What do you make of those approaches from different leaders within your party?
I see a hint of sensibility coming with Mayor Bowser. Thank God I live in Washington, D.C. Sort of, it's the story of a moderate or conservative being a former liberal who was mugged by reality. And I think she's seeing the results of what Trump has done. For the most part, I think the Democratic Party suffers from a form of nihilism, which is fed by the academic and the activist left, which preaches a deep skepticism in law enforcement, a deep skepticism in secure borders, a deep skepticism in things like gender. And it is leading the party into a really, really bad place. So while I see some hints at sensibility from Newsom, the point you just made, Muriel Bowser, and what she said in acknowledging the progress of Trump, I see the party still locked into this nihilistic, we are going to challenge these basic norms that American people want, law enforcement, for example, because we believe that somehow these are oppressive or racist or some other sort of form of something that we have to destruct. And that's where the party is going wrong.
And it seems like the beating heart of the base of the party is with Pritzker and Brandon Johnson.
For sure.
And not so much Bowser. And there was an interesting interview, I'm not sure if you caught it, on another network a few days ago, where Mayor Johnson of Chicago was there attacking Trump and saying, oh, this would be a military occupation of my city, it's unconstitutional, all these things. And the question he was asked repeatedly was, basically, forget about the feds. Could Chicago benefit from 5,000 more cops on the beat? So not Trump at all, more police. And over again, the mayor refused to say yes, right? Doesn't that give the game away, at least from his perspective?
It does give the game away. In Chicago, Guy, the average murder rate is about somewhere between 20 and 30 per 100,000, okay? In the modern world, in the developed world, the average murder rate is about 2 per 100,000. That means in Chicago, the murder rate is 10 to 15 times higher than the average in the developed world. You hear a lot of Orwellians speak about, well, the rate is coming down, the murder rate's coming down. It doesn't matter so much that it's coming down. The point that I think the president has made is it's too damn high by a factor of 10 to 15-fold. Most of the men that are killed in Chicago are black men. So I think the question that the Democrats are going to have to answer is, do black lives matter to you when it's politically convenient, ideologically convenient, or do they really matter to you when it's Donald Trump who's trying to save them? And I think they're going to be in a tough place to answer that question. If Donald Trump's police surge could have the same impact that it had in Washington, D.C., it has that impact in Chicago, you could save hundreds of black lives. And so what are the Democrats, what's the answer on that? To me, there doesn't seem to be a good answer. This is why this sort of deconstructionist ideology, this notion that everything is oppressive, police, law enforcement is oppressive, this is why it is leading the party off a cliff. And if they keep going this way, they're going to lose in 2028 and they're going to lose in 2032. They cannot break away from the ideological activist left, and this is why the party has such a toxic brand.
And I think back to, what was it, last week, where the governor took his phone and filmed the beautiful lakefront at 6 o'clock in the morning and said, no, this isn't a hellscape. What's the problem in this city? I don't think he was there or filming for the 52 shootings in his city, his major city, over this past weekend alone. Quickly, last word.
The soft bigotry of low expectations, the idea that Chicago can have 600 murders a year, again, 10 to 15 times higher than the developed world, and that is okay. And from the Democrats' point of view, and they're driven by this just hatred for Trump so that they don't take a gift horse that could lower that rate. This is a sort of a psychosis that is developing
And it's
in the
not
Democratic
theoretical
Party.
or political. Lives
No, we
are
have the
actually
data.
at stake.
We
Yeah.
have the data. We have the data. And the fact that Democrats can't accept that is part of the reason why it has such an abysmal approval rating.
Julian, it's great to see you. Thank you so much.
Great to meet you.